Belgium, a city that quietly controls the global diamond trade. Behind unmarked doors and silent streets sits a building many call the most secure vault on Earth, the Antwerp Diamond Center. 10 layers of security, motion sensors, heat detectors, seismic alarms, magnetic fields, infrared, beams, a vault door designed to withstand rockets, and inside hundreds of millions of dollars in diamonds, gold, cash, and priceless stones locked in safe deposit boxes for years. Security experts said one thing: this place is impossible to rob. In February 2003, someone proved them wrong. On Monday morning, a diamond broker opened its safe deposit box. It was empty, then another, then another. Within minutes, panic moved through the building like electricity. Over 100 boxes had been opened. No alarms had gone off. No doors were broken. No guards reported anything unusual. It was as if the vault had calmly allowed someone to walk in, take everything, and leave. Police would later call it the heist of the century. And even today, investigators admit they still don't fully understand how it was done. The man at the center of it all was Leonardo Notarbartolo, an Italian with polite manners, expensive suits, and a perfect smile. For 2 years before the robbery, he had been living in Antwerp. Pretending to be a legitimate diamond merchant, he rented an office inside the Diamond Center itself. He brought coffee to neighbors, made friends, learned routines. No one suspected that he wasn't there to trade diamonds. He was there to study the building like a scientist. Every day, he observed which guards were lazy, which cameras were fake, which doors were used the most, how long cleaners stayed, when alarms were tested. He learned something critical. The security system was designed to stop force, not patience. The vault had layers of technology meant to detect intruders. But what if the intruder didn't break in? What if he walked in slowly, over time, as someone who belonged there? Notarbartolo and his team began testing the system quietly, a piece at a time. They learned how to defeat the infrared sensors using simple materials, how to neutralize motion detectors, how to bypass magnetic locks without triggering alarms. They didn't rush. They practiced over and over until the impossible started to look routine. Then came the weekend of the robbery. The Diamond Center closed on Friday evening. No one would return until Monday morning. 2 full days. That was their window. Inside the vault, the crew worked calmly for hours. No masks, no panic, no noise. They opened safe deposit boxes with precision tools, selecting only the most valuable targets. Diamonds, loose stones, high-value items. They ignored things that would slow them down. This wasn't chaos. This was surgery. When they left, they locked everything behind them. The vault looked untouched, perfect, silent, but the damage was historic. An estimated $100 million plus in diamonds vanished without a trace, and police had no idea how anyone had even entered the vault without triggering a single alarm. But the most shocking part, the mistake that exposed them, didn't happen in Antwerp. It happened in a quiet forest miles away. A trash bag, thrown away too carelessly, containing evidence the thieves thought no one would ever find. And that single error would unravel the most sophisticated diamond robbery in history. The Antwerp police were humiliated. Reporters surrounded the Diamond Center. Security experts from across Europe arrived to inspect the vault. Engineers studied the alarm systems again and again. Everything was functioning. Nothing was broken. No alarms had been triggered. It was as if the thieves had moved through the building like ghosts, but ghosts make mistakes, and this crew made one. Days after the robbery, a forest ranger outside Antwerp noticed something strange dumped along a rural road. A torn garbage bag. Inside were gloves, food wrappers, tape, and tools. At first, it looked like litter, but one item caught attention: a piece of plastic with tiny diamond dust on it. Police were called. Forensic teams arrived, and suddenly, the perfect crime had a trail. The trash told a story. There were traces of materials used to defeat infrared sensors, tape that had likely covered motion detectors, half-eaten sandwiches from an Italian grocery store in Antwerp, and most importantly, DNA, fingerprints, tiny pieces of evidence the thieves never expected anyone to find. The bag had been thrown away in a hurry, a careless moment after a flawless operation. Investigators traced the food packaging to a local shop. Security cameras showed a man buying those exact items days before the robbery. Well-dressed, evidence inside the Diamond Center, the man no one had ever suspected when police searched his office. They found even more disturbing clues, detailed sketches of the vault, notes about security timing, tools hidden in plain sight. He hadn't just planned the robbery. He had lived inside it for 2 years, breathing it, studying it, perfecting it. As surveillance increased, police began identifying the rest of the crew, a small group of highly skilled Italian thieves. Experts in locks, electronics, surveillance, and safecracking, each member chosen for one purpose, each with a precise role. This was not a gang. This was a team built like a military unit. Investigators later reconstructed how they defeated each layer of security. They sprayed hairspray on infrared sensors to make them temporarily blind. They used aluminum plates to block magnetic fields. They knew which cameras were fake and which ones were real. They disabled the real ones without setting off alerts. They had rehearsed everything. Inside the vault, they worked for hours with no pressure, no fear, because they knew the system better than the people who built it. When Notarbartolo was finally arrested, he didn't look like a criminal mastermind. He looked like a businessman caught in a misunderstanding. Calm, polite, soft-spoken, but the evidence was overwhelming, and yet, during interrogation, he revealed something that frustrated investigators even more. He claimed he was only a small part of the operation, that the real mastermind had never been identified, that the diamonds were already long gone, hidden, sold, scattered across international markets. Even if they convicted him, the treasure would never be recovered, and that's exactly what happened. Notarbartolo went to prison, but the diamonds, gone forever. Over $100 million worth of stones vanished into the global black market without a trace. To this day, most of it has never been found. The public called it genius. Security experts called it a nightmare, because the heist revealed a terrifying truth. The world's most secure vault had been defeated not by force, but by patience, observation, and one man pretending to belong. But there was still one question investigators couldn't answer. If this team was so precise, so careful, so disciplined, why did they throw away that trash bag? What went wrong in the final moments of the perfect crime? And was it really a mistake, or something else entirely? By the time the case went to trial, the legend had already outgrown the facts. Newspapers called it impossible, security analysts called it embarrassing, criminal experts called it genius, but investigators called it something else, incomplete, because even with Leonardo Notarbartolo in custody, the full story refused to come together. Too many pieces were missing, too many questions had no answers. During interrogation, Notarbartolo insisted on one thing: he was not the mastermind. He described a shadowy figure he called the genius, a planner, a strategist, someone who never entered the vault, never appeared on cameras, never left fingerprints. According to him, this person designed the entire operation from a distance and vanished the moment the diamonds disappeared. Police were skeptical. It sounded like a criminal trying to shift blame. But as they reviewed the evidence, a strange pattern emerged. Notarbartolo had the access, but someone else had the blueprint-level understanding of high-security systems. Someone with knowledge that went beyond what a diamond merchant or even a skilled thief should reasonably know. Then investigators looked at the timing. The robbery happened over a single weekend, but the preparation had taken years. Who has the patience to plan a crime for that long without making a single move too early? Who studies human routine, guard laziness, and camera placement for 2 years without getting nervous? This wasn't greed. This was discipline. Court testimony revealed just how carefully they had practiced. They rented warehouses to simulate the vault environment. They tested ways to blind sensors dozens of times. They timed themselves opening locks until it became muscle memory. They rehearsed what to do if alarms triggered. They rehearsed what to do if guards appeared. They even rehearsed how to stay calm for hours in silence, because panic is what exposes criminals. And they had trained themselves not to panic, but the trash bag still haunted the case. Why would professionals this precise dump evidence so carelessly? Some investigators believed exhaustion played a role. After hours inside the vault, adrenaline fading, minds tired, they rushed the cleanup. Others believed something more unsettling. They had grown overconfident. By defeating the world's most secure vault, throwing away a bag of trash felt insignificant. A tiny detail beneath them, that arrogance would cost them everything in court. Notarbartolo remained calm. He spoke about the heist almost academically, explaining how security systems depend on assumptions, assumptions about behavior, assumptions about time, assumptions that criminals act fast, loud, and violently. They had done the opposite. Slow, quiet, invisible. They didn't break in, they blended in, and yet the biggest mystery remained untouched. The diamonds. Police recovered only a tiny fraction of what was stolen. The rest had disappeared into the global diamond market where stones are cut, reshaped, and sold without identity. Once a diamond is altered, it becomes impossible to trace. It was the perfect item to steal. Untraceable wealth, even today. Experts admit something uncomfortable. If not for that garbage bag in the forest, the Antwerp diamond heist might never have been solved at all. No alarms, no witnesses, no forced entry, just empty boxes in a perfect vault. And that realization disturbed security professionals worldwide, because it meant the heist didn't succeed due to a flaw. It succeeded because the thieves understood the system better than the people who built it. But as the trial ended and sentences were given, one final question lingered in the minds of investigators. Was Leonardo Notarbartolo telling the truth? Was there really a mastermind still out there, watching the world believe the case was closed? The trial concluded. Leonardo Notarbartolo was sentenced to 2 years in prison. His team faced justice as well. The courtroom drama captured global attention, and the Antwerp Diamond Heist became a symbol of brilliance and audacity. But even with convictions, the story wasn't over, because the diamonds were gone. Over $100 million worth of untraceable stones had vanished into the international black market. Investigators believe many were cut, recut, and sold, changing hands multiple times. Some likely ended up in private collections, forever out of reach. The police had caught the thieves, but the treasure, the true prize, remained elusive. For many, the heist was a tale of genius. Perfect plan executed with patience, precision, and audacity. A crime that relied not on brute force, but on psychology, observation, and meticulous rehearsal. Inside the vault, the thieves weren't just taking diamonds, they were taking control of time, control of fear, control of perception, and for hours, they held an entire institution in their hands without firing a single shot. Notarbartolo's calm demeanor in court unnerved many. He spoke about the heist not like a criminal, but like a strategist explaining a chess game. We studied the system, we studied human behavior. We did not break in. We walked in when the system allowed us to. That statement disturbed security experts worldwide, because it was true. The world's most secure vault had been outsmarted, and the lesson was clear. Even the strongest systems can fail when someone understands them better than their designers. Public fascination never faded. Documentaries, books, and interviews chronicled the robbery. Notarbartolo became infamous, a symbol of criminal ingenuity. Some called him a villain, others called him a genius. And the truth remained unsettling. The heist wasn't violent, but it was calculated, cold, and precise. The psychological impact, the fear, the manipulation. Perfect control was a crime in itself. Today, the Antwerp Diamond Center continues to operate. Security has been upgraded. Systems are more sophisticated than ever. But experts still study the heist, not just as a crime, but as a lesson. A case study in human behavior, security, psychology, and the limits of trust. And one final, chilling question remains. How many systems today could be outsmarted by someone patient, meticulous, and unobserved? Just like the team that pulled off the world's biggest diamond heist. The diamonds may be gone, but the legend endures, a crime that will be studied, analyzed, and marveled at for generations to come.